teacher can select the topic. A project can be selected by the teacher, by the student, or by the teachers and the students together. A lot of times with my students, I might think we were going to do something and try to introduce it, but then their ideas would be even better, and so I would naturally let it fold out. And of course, that's what I meant. We were going to study with money. We're going to go this way. I know that 3, 4, 5, and 6, you got I-STEP, you got I-READ, you have all those things heavy and on your mind. You can say, like right at Scouts Test, we are really fortunate. We're going to get a teaching garden given to us by Roche. They're going to donate 10 planters. First, second, third, in a 6th grade classroom, they're saying, we're going to be given a garden. So we're going to be given the materials to build a garden. We need your help with selecting what types of flowers will be in that garden and how are we going to take care of the garden. So the project's already presented to them, but it's really in their world, so it's relevant to them. So does that help? Okay. And then you can also think about how it's naturally integrated into a variety of areas. I was really fortunate. My music teacher, a lot of times whenever we'd have a topic, he would, if I let him know far enough in advance, he'd integrate what we were doing, or he'd give me songs that maybe went with our topic where I would learn additional things. It wasn't just about, ants, they have red pants. I mean, that's not really necessarily learning anything, but he would look for things that really make connections for our kids. There are 5 main components in phase 1. Personal stories. And so, like with bullying, has anyone ever been bullied before? You have?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about it.
Okay, I'm in a personal story. When I was little, I was on swim team, and I had a carpool with some boys, and when we would get out of the car to go into the pool place, they would always do things to me. Like if it was winter, they'd pull off my hat and throw it away, or they'd push me into the bushes, or they'd do just mean things to me. And then the parent that had been driving didn't see because they'd already driven away.
How did you address it?
It sucked.
Yeah.
I cried. I'm being a 3rd grader now. I cried.
You cried. Are you still bullied? Have you been bullied any time recently as an adult?
Sure.
And were you able to take care of it, or did you?
Yes.
Anybody else been bullied? I don't know. I need to go.
Don't elaborate.
No.
I was bullied
How were you bullied?
as an adult. After the Creighton school I worked at, I felt like I always had to be there. Like I couldn't take any days off, or couldn't, like, it didn't matter, like if there was a death in the family or anything like that, I felt like I always had to be there. Like, there was never an option of having a substitute or anything, so I had to constantly be there, no matter if I was sick, no matter if there was a death in the family, no matter if I was pregnant. Didn't matter, I had to be there.
Oh, wow. And so, you made a change?
Yeah, I made a change, and I just decided that, I wasn't going to really communicate with them as well as I should have, I guess. So, yeah.
How was that?
I mean, after the change I made, I'm here wearing the red. It's all good now.
You made the best move ever, huh?
Yeah. Move of the year.
But you still have to be here every day, no matter.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But you're really,
They're
really,
really
sick.
sick.
What about you? You raised your hand.
Yeah, I was bullied as a kid.
Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd like to. Would you elaborate?
Oh yeah. I was smaller than a lot of the other kids. I was like really thin, and the bigger boys would pick on me. One boy in particular, and one day we were on the 3rd floor of our school, and I just had enough, so we just got in a fight, and we fell down the steps, fighting all the way down the steps. So, but I mean, he didn't pick on me more. We actually became friends after that. So
You became friends after that?
yeah.
Wow. It's so interesting. And that's not unusual. I know I've heard people say they've resolved it, and a lot of times with boys I've heard that they become friends. A lot of times with girls, I hear that it festers a lot. Sometimes ladies don't know how to let things go. I'm not speaking for everyone. That's personal, local, and media. So.
When I still see this, one of these now adult people, I could still make some sense.
Does it really?
Mm.
I think I did say All right, what I was doing while you were sharing your stories was also listening for words that were connected to bullying. Like I heard that you became friends later. I heard that bullies do mean things to people. I heard that it made someone cry. That they're pressured into doing things. That you made a change. Somebody made a change one way or the other. You made a change by having a fight, and then you became friends. You made a change by stopping communication. And I don't know what your change was with those boys. What was it?
I quit swimming.
We'll see. And so you made, and every change affected your lives differently. A lot of times I heard that you were smaller, or the bullies were bigger, and then that there was a fight. Those would all be words that you would start to build as your students are telling stories, and you start to pull those words, and you start to build your student web as well. Eventually, we'll kind of group those together, and you'll figure out your student's current knowledge about the topic. Sometimes you're going to hear incorrect information. Like I've heard, well, I'm going to do a project on spiders, and there is a special rare kind of spider that has 9 legs. Are you sure? Yep, my dad told me that spider. So you could make that one of your questions, like, well, let's go ahead and make that. Let's write a question about, what are the anatomical features of a spider, or do they all look the same, or you could formulate some things like that. After personal stories, which start off being oral, but a lot of times they can also be written, you could do memory drawings.